It's Monday, so clearly I'm going to forget to turn my microphone right on. Hey everybody, this is Jim. I am super excited today. We're going to be making a really cool Paracord bracelet. Now, if you haven't seen a Paracord bracelet, I'm actually wearing one right here. This is one that I bought from a store, actually. Here, let's use this camera instead. And you can buy these for a few dollars at the store. They come, the ones at the store, they have the fancy buckle on them. But I'm going to show you how to make one from your kit today. All it's going to take is a few little parts here. You're going to need to grab paracord, a ruler, a carabiner, a paper clip, your twist tie spool, and if you got a pair of scissors lying around, you're going to want to grab those too. That will make things really useful, but it's not essential. I am Jim, I am your host, and you are watching Kitbashing. Hey everybody, I am Jim Clements. I am your host, and you are watching Kitbashing, the show where I teach you something super awesome live on the interwebs. So, today we've got a really fun project. Like I said, we're going to build one of these really neat paracord bracelets. Now, the paracord bracelet is a super cool survival tool. These can be used if you're out camping or if you're in the wilderness and you need to get some rope. You can literally just wrap these, and you'll have about a foot of rope for every inch long that one of these bracelets is, give or take. There's a couple different formulas, but that's one. So if you ever need access to, 8-10 feet of rope for something, like let's say you're tying down a tent, or you need to hang food or clothes or whatever, a paracord bracelet is a very, very cool way to have rope on hand. Now, paracord is one of many things that came in your maker kit if you got the maker kit. If you didn't, you can actually go to our website, which is madenewOmaha.com/kitbashing. We have the instructions on how to make your own maker kit there from common household items. And if you don't want to assemble your own kit, you can also purchase one. They are on back order right now. For those of you who ordered your kits last week, we got the very last items over the weekend, so we're assembling those kits right now. They should be delivered tonight or maybe tomorrow, or ready for pickup for those of you who are coming in. Everybody else, if you order them right now, our goal is to have them ready by this following week. So that is the plan as of right now. So for everybody who has tuned in and is watching today, again, we're going to be making those paracord bracelets. One thing really quickly, if you saw our website, you can also go to our Facebook page. If you're watching through YouTube or through our website, we're at facebook.com/madenewOmaha. We post the latest updates there, and big celebration, we just hit 1,000 fans on our Facebook page. Woohoo, that's awesome. So big milestone there. Lastly, I'm going to post my email up here, kitbashing@madenewOmaha.com. I encourage you, if you want to send us pictures of the stuff you've built, if you want to ask questions, you can post those emails to kitbashing@madenewOmaha.com, and then I will respond to those emails, or I'll do a video on the response during one of our daily shows. So that's a good way to get in touch with us. People have sent me pictures. Pretty much every day that we've done a project, people have sent me a picture of their project. Those are really cool. If I get those, I love sharing those. Also, again, if you're tuning in today, Monday the 30th at 1 o'clock, you get to see us live. Ashley's family is here. Hi, Ashley and your family. How's it going? Hopefully things are going well. If you are not viewing us live, you can still send us messages at the Kitbashing email address, and we'll try to address it on the next video. All right, so let's dive in today. Again, if you look at our camera here, there's a number of supplies that we need. Those supplies are one imperial ruler. Now, so the imperial ruler, if you remember that we gave you two rulers in your kit. We gave you one that's imperial, this one's got stuff attached to it, and one that's metric. The metric system is the ruler that has the 0 with all the itty-bitty lines, and 10, and so on and so forth. Imperial is the word that we use, or sometimes you'll hear SAE, but that's the word that we use for the rulers that have the inches on them. And so, there we go, desk cam for that. This is the imperial ruler, if you're looking for that. And so you'll need that. Put that back over here. So you're going to need that imperial ruler. You're going to need your paracord. You're going to need the carabiner. You're also going to need a paper clip. The paper clip, you'll see exactly how we're using that later. And then your twist tie spool is going to come in handy later. We're going to show you how to do that. And then if you have a pair of scissors handy, that will be really, really useful. You don't need the scissors, but if you have them, it will make it a lot easier, because instead of having to have this crazy super long paracord bracelet that's like bigger than 2 hands worth, you'll actually be able to make something that fits your hands. So that is the plan. We're going to take one quick look at our supplies here, and then we're going to start assembling. Now I have 2 different colors of paracord with me today. I have a red paracord and I have a white paracord. I'm going to use the white paracord because that's a little bit easier to see on my black cutting mat here. I have the black paracord and the red paracord rather, and the red paracord is actually for our special guest. Hey, Lucas, say hi.
Hi.
You're on the camera. So Luke is with us again. If you tuned in on Friday, you got to see Lucas as he came to join us on the show as we looked at Tinkercad and making 3D files. So Luke, today you're going to be with us, and you are actually going to be making this bracelet with me. This is something that we're going to use from our kits. I already gave you a clip. Actually, I can see that you're already using it. It's one of your favorite colors, I'm pretty sure, the orange clip.
It is my favorite color.
That is your favorite color. And so Luke, you're going to be working along with me to make this. And as I make the kit, I want you guys at home to join me and to make the kit as well. And then we'll have Luke over here making the kit. And between the two of us, I think we'll make something pretty cool today. All right, so first step, we're going to take our paracord. We need to figure out how much we need. So, Luke, how do you think that we would figure out how much paracord we need?
We could use to measure the paracord, we could use like a ruler or measuring tape or anything that can tell you how long something is.
Yeah, absolutely. You could use ruler or measuring tape. Another cool thing that we could do is we included one, and that's that imperial ruler that uses inches that we have. Now we need to figure out, though, how much we need. So here's a quick rule of thumb if you're making a paracord bracelet. A really quick, easy rule of thumb is that 1 inch of bracelet is equivalent to 1 foot of rope, roughly. So Luke, if I have a 7-inch wrist, how many feet worth of the paracord am I going to need?
Wait, so did you say 1 foot is 1 inch of a bracelet?
1 foot is 1 inch of bracelet. So it takes 1 foot of paracord to get 1 inch of finished bracelet. So how much, if I've got a 7-inch wrist, how many feet of this stuff right here will I need?
So if you have 7, so
I have a 7-inch wrist. Yep.
So that would be 7 feet.
So yep, you need 7 feet of paracord if you've got a 7-inch wrist. How could we figure out how big our wrist is? Now, Luke hasn't done this project at all. I came up with this concept today while he was spending the night at Grandma's house. So we're asking questions to somebody who has no clue what's going on, and this is totally fun. So Luke, how would you figure out how big your wrist is if the only things that we have in front of us are paracord and maybe this ruler and a few other supplies?
What I would do is I would wrap the paracord around my wrist, and then where it gets all the way around, I would grab this, and then I could put this next to the ruler. Wait, is this the 0?
0, yeah.
Okay, and then I could see how big my wrist is.
Okay, how big is it? According to this, starting at 0.
These do not look like inches.
They don't have numbers on them, but they are inches. Each line is an inch.
Oh, I just thought it looked a bit bigger than that. My wrist is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches.
All right. Now you didn't count the 0 line, right? No, you didn't. Okay.
1, 2,
Perfect.
3, 4, 6. Yeah.
So Luke did exactly what I was going to have you do. The easiest way to figure out how much of this stuff that you're going to need is to take your paracord, wrap it around your wrist. Okay, so just like I've done today, wrap this around your wrist, and where the two pieces of paracord come together. So on my wrist, the two pieces of paracord touched right here. That's how long I need my paracord bracelet to be, approximately. Now, one slight change to this, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But if I need mine to be right here, can you pass me the ruler, Luke?
Yeah.
All right, so that means that I need, and if I take my ruler, we're going to do this on the overhead camera so that you can see, actually, better than the overhead camera. Let's do this on the desk camera. All right, so 0 all the way up. Now, my wrist, if I lay mine at 0, we have a problem. Mine hangs over the edge just a little bit.
Oh, I've got an
So
idea.
here's all we do is we take this. Now I'm going to slide this over again, and that's about 1 inch over the end. Now I could have went all the way back to 0 and started again, but I know, so I'm about 1 inch over the end if I start here at 0. So that means my wrist is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches wide. I got a big wrist, let me tell you. And so that means I'm going to need 9 inches of rope. Now there's a couple ways that we can get our rope. The first way that we can do that is to, if we know we need 9 inches, Luke, how many inches are in a foot?
12.
12. So we know we need 9 feet at least of this material if we're going to make a 9-inch paracord. Now your wrist was what, 6 inches?
6 inches.
So how many feet of paracord are you going to need?
6 feet.
6 feet.
Which is half of this.
So
right?
that's about half of this. Now they might not be exact. So the two ways you could do this is we could either measure on our ruler, and so if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's 6 inches here, and I'm going to hold this. That's 1 foot. So I did 6 inches, and then I pinched it right at the 6-inch point, and I dragged that back to 0 on my ruler, and then 6 inches again. So 6 and 6 is 12. So that's 1 foot. Here's 1.5 feet. Here's 2 feet. And so I'm just going back and I'm pinching it here at the 6-inch mark, and I'm pulling 2.5, 3 feet, 3.5, 4 feet, 4.5, 5 feet, 5.5. Man, I have very long wrists. 4, 5. If you lose count, you can. And my stuff's getting tangled with the camera. Yep. 6 feet. And 6.5. This is really boring for me. 7 feet. 7.5. Mine's getting tangled up because I had it all wound up. 8 feet. 8.5. 9 feet. So that's one way that you can count it out. Now, I have the advantage of having this super cool cutting board in front of me. Here, Luke, if you want to measure this out, you sure can. I have the advantage of having this super cool cutting board in front of me, which I really, like, if you're a maker, having something like this, super, super useful to have, because I can take this and I can do the same exact thing, except with the cutting board, I could actually go 36 inches because I know how long this mat is, but I can go to 24 inches, so that's 2 feet. 4 feet.
Is from here to here half of a foot?
From 0 to the last line.
This?
6 feet.
Okay.
You can count it, just double check.
Right.
8 feet. And then I'm going to take this one to 12, 9 feet. All right, so this is the 9-foot mark for me. So if I'm going to have a 9-inch bracelet, I need 9 feet of rope. Just a little bit less, but here's my leftover right here. So now if you don't have a pair of scissors today, not the end of the world. You know, we could actually pretend that you don't have this. You could tie a knot in it like this so that you've got this part. You know, we know not to use this part until you know, we can find a pair of scissors and then we can cut it off. And so you can just use this knot to be kind of like the pretend end of your rope. Now I do have a pair of scissors today, so I'm going to cut mine off. Something I'll say about paracord. If you have access to somebody who can help you with using a lighter, these ends can get kind of frayed on paracord. And actually, if you...
I got a question.
See, I'm going to show this. Hang on, I'll get your question in 1 second. But see, that can get a little bit frayed. And what you can do to fix that is to take a lighter and just light this end on fire for a second. Now, again, don't do this if you're a young person and you shouldn't be using a lighter on your own. You find an adult who can help you with that. If you're an adult and a responsible one at that, there are some of you adults who shouldn't handle lighters. But if you're an adult who is responsible, then you can use that on your own. You had a question, Luke?
So, when I get this, so I pulled the paracord over 6 times. Is it this end? So I was doing this, and I did this 12 times.
12 times, yep.
So would the 6 feet be right here or right here?
The 6 feet would be at the side that you were pulling from. So if you had your fingers at the 0 and you were pulling to the 6 inches,
I was starting here and pulling this way.
Okay, so then if you were starting at that end, so if you're starting at this end and pulling that way,
then this is the 6 feet?
Then that is where 6 feet is.
Okay.
So you can use the scissors. I trust you. I trust him. He's under adult supervision. I don't know if it's responsible adult, but it's adult supervision. So he cut it. So whether you have 6 feet or 9 feet, whatever it is, remember, again, the pro tip to remember here is that 1 inch around your wrist equates to 1 foot of paracord. 1 inch, 1 foot. That's the easy way to do this. All right, so the next step, we need to start working on making our paracord. To do that, we need to find the center point of this cord. Now, there's a super easy way to do that. The easy way to do that, you take your cord, put the 2 ends together like so, and with those 2 ends together, I pinch them and hold them, and I pull this and stretch it out. And now, if I'm pinching these 2 ends together, and I pull both cords away, it will naturally meet at the very end, just like that. So, Luke, you're going to try that?
This is 12 feet of paracord. Since this is 12 feet of paracord in total, would either end work?
So, if it was 12 feet of paracord and you cut it in half, you could use either side if they're both exactly the same length. Okay. They might not be exactly 6 feet. So,
but close enough. And this is the 6 foot one.
Okay, so how do you find the end? So Luke's going to demonstrate what I just did.
So
You don't need that part. Okay, perfect.
So I did this.
Yep.
First. And then what was the next step?
So you pinched the end, and then you just pull this until you get to the end of it. And now this end that you just grabbed, so your right hand, so for those watching, this end where you got the 2 ends that are folded together, hold this with 1 finger. We don't need to worry about the other part. We can just goodbye. So you can drop that part. So you're holding that. Okay, perfect. So now the next step is that we need to connect to our paper clip. So grab your paper clip. Okay, this is highly technical. Grab your paper clip, put this through. Now the paper clip we're not going to keep forever. The paper clip is really just to hold this in place until we are finished with the rest of the band. So now I've put my paper clip through, and if we get a good close look with the desk cam, you can see that my paper clip goes through just like this. Now here's the tricky part, is we are going to take this loop that I just put through the paper clip, and we are going to push that loop down and around the paper clip and pull it so we've got kind of a knot.
Like this?
Like that. So put that paper clip through. Here, if you lower it down so the camera can see you doing it. So
do I do this?
And then while you're holding it, yep, you put one side down and then wrap the other side around as well.
But, huh?
you still want to pinch this part with your fingers. Okay? So watch. Watch me do this again. I just pushed. That's okay. If you watch it, you'll get this. This is one of the cool things about having Luke here is that I have somebody who hasn't done this before. So once I've passed the folded in half part through my paper clip, I'm going to hold this part. See how I'm holding that with my finger and my thumb? All right, so I'm going to hold it just like that. Then I'm going to take this little loopy part. So I looped about, not quite as long as the paper clip, but close. I'm going to loop that over the end of the paper clip like this, and then I'm going to loop it over the other end of the paper clip like this. So now I've looped it. I'm going to unloop it again so you can see. So looped one end over, looped the other end over, and then while I'm holding the paper clip, I can pull this a little bit to make it a knot that will hold this end. So let's try. You put it through and you're holding the paper clip and the paracord, right?
Do I do this?
And then, so you push it over that end. Now bring it, now don't let go of this part. You got to hold this to the middle of the paper clip. If you don't hold the paper clip in place too, it will slide around and that'll be bad.
Now what?
All right, now you need to slide this over this end.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right. Nicely done. Now, when you pull that together, it should make a nice knot, just like this. Let's see.
Like that?
Yeah, let's see. You did it perfect. There, he's got his. All right. So, you've got yours. I've got mine. So, this is where we start from. Now, this next phase gets just a little tricky. So, I want everybody to follow along. We need to take the other end now. So, here's my end that has the paper clip on it, right? I'm going to take the other end. I need to find my carabiner. Here it is. You got your carabiner? All right. Highly technical. Put your carabiner over the cord. And we're going to pull it. Like so. Now, this is really the trickiest part because we want to get this right. This is the length of your bracelet. However the distance is between this paper clip and this carabiner is how long your bracelet is going to be. So, for example, if we had a 6-inch bracelet with Luke, I'm going to pull his out here. How far away, Luke, should your bracelet and your carabiner be?
6 inches.
6 inches. You got it exactly right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
yep.
It ends right here.
Right there.
So my carabiner should be
yep.
here.
So pinch that carabiner with your fingers to hold it in place. And then for mine, remember we measured mine. I got like crazy giant wrists. And mine was 9 inches. So I'm going to grab mine and hold it right here.
Do you think a clothespin would hold this in place?
You could try that, but honestly, we are only going to need to hold this for a second. So if you look at mine, we can see how the way I turned it, once I was pinching it, I turned it so that it's going through the carabiner clip and coming out the back side. So it comes through the front that I'm holding, and it goes through the back.
So did you do this?
So if I'm holding my bracelet, and it doesn't really matter which side down here on the bottom is front or backwards, but yep, you want to hold it so that these two cords come out the back. Let's see what you got. Yep, so if you're facing it, and this is the front side and that's the back, that's exactly perfect. So now, I'm going to show you the next step. We're going to switch over to the overhead camera to make this a little clearer, and I'm going to move this guy behind T-Rex. All right, so I've been holding this at my distance that I want to make my bracelet. I'm going to keep holding that for 1 second because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move my left side and my right side, and you can do this on the desk and follow along, Luke, around just like that. So I laid it out on the desk, and if you've got a surface in front of you, you can lay it out on that surface too. You want to have a nice, good workspace to work with. You can do it right here, Luke. Let me move this out of the way for you, sir. All right, and so you can lay yours down right there. And actually do it reverse so that you've got, if you look at my overhead camera, you can see that I've got the paper clip closest to me. So here's me. Hi, I'm right here. And then away from me is the carabiner. So yours needs to be flipped around.
Okay.
If you see here, I'm going to move the box out of the way. Usually I keep that there.
Does this work? Like
so, yep, and you've got it 6 inches away, and it doesn't matter which side of the carabiner. That's totally fine. So you've got yours away, and you've got it pointed away. Perfect. Now, this is where it starts to get a little crazy. Follow along with me. We're going to take your left end, and I'm going to make a big loop. None of this stuff should move, but I'm going to take a big loop, and I'm just going to lay it across like that. Okay? Let's see. I'm going to move this guy so that maybe I can see you doing yours.
that?
There we go. So, yep, so you looped it across the left, just like mine. Now, I don't want any of this to move, so I'm going to lay my hand on it. But I need to take my right side, okay? So take this whole bundle on the right side, and we're going to go over the loop that you just made. Then we need to go under this long piece, under your bracelet. We're just going to call this your bracelet, okay? So underneath your bracelet, so we went over, under the bracelet, and then from the bottom side of this loop, so I'm going underneath this loop too, we're going to go through the loop. Over, under, and through.
I don't get this. So
Okay.
what do we go over?
So you go over this string. I'm going to do this one more time for people to follow along if they are wondering what the heck is he talking about. So we back up. Here we go. I've got my left side. I took my left side and I made a loop over top, right? Now I'm going to take my right side, and I'm taking the right side, and we're going over this string that we just sent across, and then we're going under our bracelet, and then under the left side of our loop. Okay?
So do we go under this?
Yep, you go under that as well. All right? And so once you've gone under that, and once you've gone underneath this one too, you go through. Now here's the part where we start to see a bracelet form. We're going to very carefully pull these strings tighter, tighter, tighter. We want to keep this a little bit tight. All right. Now if you look at this, you can see it almost looks like the same sort of knot that we made on the other side. So you just pull it tighter, nice and slow, and then get it good and tight. And I'm really, really pulling that to get it nice and tight. And you want to make sure that your bracelet length is the right length still. So, now see how yours got real short? Here's the easy way to fix that. If you wound up pulling yours and you got it super short, just very gently pull this until it's the right length again. Okay? And you might need to let a little bit of material out. You might need to loosen this one on the top just a little bit. But so I'm going to double check mine, and it's almost 9 inches, so that's fine. So make sure...
Do I need this longer, or is this good?
That's not going to work because you've got a wrist that's longer than 2 inches long, right? Here, let me see yours. There you go. Yep, there you go. So keep pulling it out till it's about 6 inches long. This is the part that takes a little bit of work to get this very first bit right.
Could I please have the ruler?
Once you get this first bit right, then it's super, super easy. Here you go. So I'm going to shift back to the overhead. And so what you should have now, once you've got your length right, now you have your paper clip here closest to you. Look, here's me. Out here you've got your carabiner hook. And we just did the over, under, and through, and we made our first tie. Super, super easy. We came from the left side, We did that. All right, so now you got about 6 inches. Perfect. All right, so here's the next step is now I'm going to hold this in my hands, and on the right side, I'm going to make a loop going over because we started with the left side, right? So I'm going to make a loop with the right side. Now,
Like that?
so see how I took the right side and I went over the bracelet?
Oh, like that?
So take your right side, yep, and then go over your bracelet, just like that. Perfect. Now you can just lay the right one down. We're done with it for right now. The next step is we're going to take the left side and we're going to go over again. So we're going over this cord and then we're going underneath our bracelet and we're going through this side. So over, under, through. Luke, can you say that?
So we go over this.
So you go, yep, you go over that, and then you go under your bracelet.
This,
yep.
And then we go.
And then you go through from the bottom. Yep. And you go through that. Okay, so for those of you watching, we did over, under, and through, and then again, we're going to pull this all the way through, and we're doing these really loose for the sake of a video so you can see very clearly what we're doing. But normally when you would do these, you could make these super tight and super small knots. So over, under, through, and then we pull it.
Look, if we put it up here, then that would stop it from changing the length of our bracelet.
Well, now that we've tied one knot, this is not going to change again. So that after you get that first length, if you make sure that this is the right length after you get that first loop around your carabiner, then you're not going to have to worry again about it shrinking up. Now it's going to be the right size for the rest of our project. So we just came through the right side. Now I want you to look at something really, really close on this knot. I'm going to go to my desk cam. See how on the front of this knot, this bottom string is the one that comes out this way? Every time we make one of these knots, all that we're going to do is we're going to look at this bottom piece of paracord, and whichever direction that's pointing is where our loop is going to go. So now our loop is going out to the left. So, move this out of the way. So we know that our left is our next loop. So I'm going to loop over from the left, and then for the right, we're going to go over. We're going to go under, and we're going to go through. Over, under, through. And
so we just keep doing that over and over? Or?
Over, under, through. Over, under, through.
How many times?
Until we get all the way to the end of our bracelet. So we go over, under, through, and then we pull that nice and tight again. Just like this. And if you're pulling these nice and tight, it will start to look really, really nice and uniform. There we go. And as tight as you can get it is fine. There's not such a thing as too tight. I'm going to grab this again. Now, once you've done this knot...
Why does it keep going to one... It keeps going like that.
So, you need to pull your bracelet through further.
So, how do I do that?
So, you can pull your knot. You can tie your knot tight.
Oh, do I do this?
Now, tie your knot. And pull that nice and tight. There you go. There you go. Perfect. And so then, we just make sure that's straight as you go. Nicely done, Lucas.
So since I started with left that time, do I start with right now?
So, look at your knot. And remember what I said, if you look at the very bottom string on your knot, whichever one that points to, whichever one's coming out from that very bottom piece of paracord, that's the direction your loop is. So let's see yours. So if we look at yours, that's very nice. Very good, Lucas. Let me pull this nice and tight for us. If we look at Luke's, we can see his bottom piece of paracord is pointing out to the right. So, which side are you going to make a loop with?
So, yeah, right.
With the right side. You got it. All right, so now I'm going to speed up just a little bit, and I'm going to make some more of these. And as I keep making this, well, thank you. Orphans and Widows of Omaha is watching. For those of you who don't know, Orphans and Widows of Omaha is a really, really neat organization. They work with widows. They also work with youth here in town who maybe they need a hand. Maybe they need some support and some assistance. And sometimes they try to pair those two groups together, which is really, really cool. We really like them. We've worked with them. We were going to team up and do our sewing club with them. But now with the whole COVID thing, it's on pause for right now. But it's coming back someday. So if you like to sew, Made New, we'll have a sewing club for you once this is all over. So again, we look at the bottom one. The bottom on the last loop I did went to the right. Now the bottom on this one goes left. So this is where I make my loop.
So I go over this.
You go over, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Over this.
Under, through.
Under, and through. Over, under, through. And we just keep repeating this process over, under, through all the way until this is done. Now, it won't take a super long time to get this whole bracelet done. And if it ever gets like wonky, that's been kind of like my word of the day, wonky. I've said that a lot lately. You can just kind of straighten it out with your hands. But what you're going for is a really nice straight uniform setup here. And this comes out from the right. And so we're going to do that. Over, under, through, pull. And then you tighten it up like that. How's yours going, Lucas? Are you having good luck with it?
So far, it's pretty good.
So far, so good. I love it. That's...
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold your horse.
Hold your horses.
One side is longer than the other. Da, da, da.
Okay, so what do we do if one side is longer than the other? Luke's got that problem right now. It's actually not a problem. I wonder if mine are... Yeah, mine came close. Mine are almost the same length, but this one is just a touch longer. If that happens, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world at all. And you're just going to keep going over, under, and through. And if you hold it in your hands, this can actually go kind of quick. Where you can just hold it up in the air, and then you look at the bottom one. That tells you which way to go.
Wait, the bottom... So
over,
this,
under.
I look at this, and so I'm on left?
Yep, you look at the very bottom string from your last knot, and that is the... And if you can remember in your head, I went left on the last one, so I go right on this one. That's how it's going to work. So I just went left, so now I'm doing one on the right, over, under, through. And we just keep going. Now, the cool thing about these Paracord bracelets is that if you ever find yourself stuck out in the wilderness and you don't have anything with you but your bracelet, all of a sudden you've got a bunch of tools. You have a rope, you have a clip, you have things you can use together. That's why I really kind of like using these carabiners more than using the buckle clip, because the buckle clip, I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, but it's not really like a carabiner clip I can use for 100 different things. A buckle clip, kind of, it's a buckle clip. And if it's not a buckle clip, well, that's all it really is. It's a buckle clip. So we make our loop, we go over, under, through, and we just keep going. And so if you just tell yourself, if the rhyme in your head is over, under, through, you can make these like very, very quickly. The cool thing about these paracords is that people will buy them. There's people who don't want to make their own paracord bracelets. They would just rather buy them. And you can actually even buy them at like Home Depot or Menards or some of the big box stores. But we will make our own because this costs a fraction of the cost. If I went to the big box store, in fact, the one that I was wearing earlier, so this guy right here, this bracelet, I bought this one at Home Depot, and it was a few bucks, which doesn't seem bad, but the cost of this clip and the cost of this was like half the price. So you can actually make something that costs a lot less than store-bought, and it works just as well. Luke, how's yours going? I think
amazing.
It's actually going pretty good. Let's switch over here to your camera. There we go. Here, show the desk camera. Here. So, Luke, that's actually coming out pretty good. And you can see the pattern starting to emerge as you keep going. Left, right. And you watch your pattern and you can make this out just like I'm doing. And it's, again, can we all say how we do this? Over, under, through. Luke, how do we do this? What's the...
Over, under, through.
Over, under, through. And if you just keep saying over, under, through, you'll remember that after you make your loop, you go over, you go under, and you go through.
Somehow I forgot. Do I go over or under this thing? I know it's over.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, you make your first loop just lays on top. And then you go over, under, through. And so... we're going to keep going. And while I'm tying this, Luke, so how is the e-learning going?
It's going good.
Good? Yeah. It's a little bit weird, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
You have your teacher still.
Right.
But you're also you kind of don't have your teacher, even though you have your teacher.
This is what it looks like when it's done.
That's kind of what it looks like, yeah.
But
over, under, through, and we just keep doing that. So a lot of the schools around here have gone to where some of the teachers will do the video chats or things like that. Our school's trying to get online with that. Some of the teachers, I think, are still learning how, and so it might be a while. Mr. Allers hasn't done any e-learning video chats with you guys yet, has he?
He hasn't done any live video chats, but he has recorded videos of him teaching the lesson.
Oh, mm-hmm.
So that's all we've got so far.
Oh, gotcha. So so you've seen some videos of him teaching class though.
Right.
That's cool. That's really nice. Have you watched some of the morning conference videos, the morning meeting videos?
I've watched.
Okay, cool. So our school's also they have morning meetings, and they used to do these in person. And the morning meetings now, they've been recording them, which is really, really nice because a lot of the kids really like the morning meetings. Well, Luke, what did you think about the morning meetings?
I mean, it wasn't as good as when I'm actually with my friends.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it is having your friends, and you haven't really been able to be around even many of your friends lately, right?
Right. And I've got so many friends, but I don't have any friends that have seen me since 2 weeks ago or whenever we started this e-learning.
Right, since it started. Oh, by the way, hi, John Mack. Again, like I said, if you're watching this Monday at 1 o'clock, it's live. And if you come in and you comment, I will eventually, hopefully, see your comments. John Mack is actually somebody who subscribed to my videos a long time ago on YouTube before I might have been doing Made New Makerspace in its very early days when he showed up, but I made a few basic videos and he came in. It's really super cool guy. But anyway, it's really neat because I get to do this with different groups. I've got my YouTube group. I've got those of you who are following along on Facebook, which again, if you're not on the Facebook site, you can definitely follow us there, facebook.com/MadeNewOmaha. Eventually, I'll have one of those really cool splashes for the YouTube channel once we have enough followers on YouTube to justify. Yeah, it was probably on Twitter. I know that we had, I found a couple folks on Twitter, probably something 3D printing or Murph related. I don't know. I've been, doing lots of this fun stuff for a while on different social media. So now I wanted to point out really, really quick, I'm getting to the end. Now I still have some string on this end and some string on this end. That's totally cool. But I'm basically at the end. I think I can get one more. Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think it was when I was opening the Makerspace because I believe that was probably when I was talking about it on Twitter and I had a bunch of people who came in because I had been tweeting about the progress we were making in our day-to-day stuff. So for the purpose of our cord today, for our Paracord bracelet, this paper clip was really only a temporary thing to hold it in place so that we had something. Now, to get this off, it's going to be super duper easy. I am just going to take it and actually, let me steal my desk camera so I can do a close-up.
Right now, I wish I had a third hand.
I know. Sometimes it would be easier if you had something. They make a tool called the helping hands. But once you get done, you just take this paper clip and you unbend it a little bit just so we can unspool this. Now, when we get done, there's going to be this little itty-bitty loop at the end. Okay, so that loop, that is exactly what we want. So we got this little loop here, and we got our carabiner. Now, if you haven't figured out how this is going to work yet, carabiner hooks onto the loop, and we have a bracelet. Now, I still got some leftover stuff here. We'll take care of that in a second, but I want to make sure that I got this close enough. If you measured your wrist, and so, for example, I have a 9-inch wrist. I made 9 feet of material, and then I measured out 9 inches, 9 feet of material, and then I put my paracord on there. That is perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. So, again, that rule of thumb of 1 foot of paracord for every inch is about true. Now, with this extra, I could cut this off. I could tie it off into something. I've seen people actually braid this. It's really, really, really up to you. I could probably even, if you look at this closely, you can see that I could probably actually even make 1 or 2 more braids here to get this. But now if I ever need to get paracord for an emergency situation, I go camping and I forget that, to bring a rope, boom, right here. I just unwind this and it's good to go.
I have a little problem.
Let's check yours out, Luke. What's your situation?
It's like twisted.
So Luke's has a little bit of a twist in it, and if that happens, all you have to do is really exactly what you're doing. You just kind of pull it till it's straight, and then pull it tight again. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it looks about right. So for mine, I think what I'm going to do is I might actually leave these pieces on for right now, and then after the show I'll decide what I want to do with these. But I've wanted a couple paracord bracelets for a while, and I made this one out of white. You can, whatever colors you've got. I know if you ordered our kits, you're going to get some, we had red, we had brown, black, white, a couple different colors. For our next batch of kits, do I have it? Oh, I do have it right back here. Thunk. Bought 1,000 feet of black. So I think everybody in the next batch of kits that we're delivering, hopefully today and tomorrow, you're going to get black paracord. And if you decide that you want to do this project after you get your kit, all of these things are going to be pre-recorded. All of these things are being recorded, and you can go back to our website, which is madeinomaha.com/kitbashing, and hopefully by this time tomorrow, we're going to have all of our previous episodes online. We're going to have build tutorials for all of our builds so that you can follow along and do that. On my YouTube channel, for those of you who are on Facebook and can't see it, John Mack came in and commented that he's seen these used as keychains. These make great keychains, and the cool thing is that with a keychain, you're not just limited to this. If you want to make one that's a foot long, so you got 10 feet of paracord or 12 feet of paracord, you can absolutely do that. So these are just one of many, many things you can do with paracord. As this series continues, we're going to do a lot more fun projects with paracord. We'll probably try to do it with the 3 or 4 feet of whatever you've got left. But if you want to make sure that you have plenty of paracord, you can head out to your local hardware store. If you're daring, you can get on Amazon. You can buy some. You can probably find some around the house. And most of these projects, like this, works really, really well with the paracord because of what it's made out of. But you could also do this with just about any kind of rope that you've got lying around the house with some degree of success. So again, simple project, lots of fun. I encourage you guys, make something cool. Send me a picture. I love getting pictures. If you send it to kitbashing@madeinomaha.com of whatever you built, I love seeing those. The ones that look really cool, I will post pictures of. Or if I just get a picture and I like it, and I have the room for it on the show, I'll post a picture. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been kind of a longer episode, But we wanted to make the entire project from start to finish, which is exactly what we did. We would love to see you on tomorrow's episode where we're going to build something that's made new. And until next time, I am Jim. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'm Jim. This is my son, Luke. We'll see you next time.